Hello. See if we can get some people on here before we start. Not sure if Facebook's sending you guys notifications or not. Let's see. I don't see anyone jumping on quite yet. So today we're going to talk about block 2 of the Snowy Day Quilt Sampler. I know a lot of you guys have been asking, do these blocks have official names? When National Quilters Circle had asked me, could you write up a 9-block sampler for us? I just kind of took out my paper and started drawing some blocks, and I didn't really research them at all. So I know the first block people were saying kind of looked like a Jacob's ladder, and someone else had said it kind of looked like an old maid's puzzle. So I guess it's kind of a mixture of both those. And then this week's block, I'm not sure if anybody knows the official name for that one. It kind of looks like an X to me. Cool X. So, hope you guys are out there. I don't know. Have a couple people jumped on. Can you hear me? I don't know if you guys are getting the notifications. Everybody having a nice Monday night. I guess for some of you around the world it's already Tuesday. I had a good, I guess it snowed more in Port Orchard, which is close to me, but it didn't snow here. It's a little chilly though. So block 2, if you started with block 1 and you got those half square triangles down, block 2 was probably a lot easier for you. I know a couple people were having questions about the center block, and they weren't having it line up with their side block very well. So first I'm going to go over just very briefly the half square triangle, because I know there's been a lot of people that have joined the group since last week. So I just want to go over those really quick. First, let's see. So first you're going to take your 2 pieces of fabric. You want to take your pretty sides, your right sides of your fabric, pin those together, or I'll first lay them together, and then you're going to draw a line, diagonal, one to another. I like to put a little dot there and a little dot there, and then I use my big roller, make a straight line. And then we're going to sew 1/4 of an inch on both sides. And then you're going to want to cut down the center, and that's going to make 2 half square triangles. And you see how that has a couple little dogs, and it's kind of wonky. So that wouldn't be a very good square to sew to your other blocks, because it's not perfectly square. And that's the reason we trimmed down to 4.5 inches. If you can see, how much excess there is. We do want to trim those down, see? And what you do to trim those down, you're going to line it up on your ruler on that diagonal line. I have a 6.5 inch. I know some people last week said they purchased a 4.5 inch, which is like perfect, from Walmart for like $3 or $4. So you just trim that, and then you'd flip it, trim it again. So my first block, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. This is my number 2 block, and it has directional print. And if you want to get your directional print to go the same direction everywhere, I learned a little tip. If you see, these are all going the same way. When you're doing your half square triangles and you're cutting them out, since this block had an even number of half square triangles, it was kind of easy. So I'm going to show you what I did. So I marked this one. If you have a directional print and you want them to go both the same way and you have an even amount of half square triangles, you'd do this line this way and you do this line this way. So I cut 2 combos out of this one, the diagonal going that way, and 2 combos with the diagonal going out this way so that they match up. So once I cut them out, they were going different directions. Then I kept laying them out until I was able to get them all to face the same direction. See, so it kind of, even though I didn't use a geese, I know some people, I've noticed a lot of people are using geese, which that helps out a lot too. When I wrote the pattern, I wanted all the blocks to be consistent in sizes so that when I was hoping a lot of beginners would do this challenge, and so I was hoping it'd be a lot easier if all the blocks were consistent in size, all the squares inside the blocks were consistent in size. So that's why I went with the half square triangles instead of the geese. But if you want to make geese, go for it. That's a good way, you know, so you don't have to worry about getting the line inside your print. Okay, so one of the questions people were having was this block in the middle. So when you attach your 4.5, you got your 4.5 inch square, right? You're going to attach the sides, these little side segments, right? And then the length of this is going to be 8.5 inches. So then you're going to attach your 2 8.5 inch strips on the sides. And so this block should equal 8.5 inches. I know some people were saying it was either too big or too small. If you're using a presser foot instead of a 1/4 inch 1/4 inch foot, because my machine has a 1/4 inch foot, so I butt it right up to the edge and it only stores a 1/4 inch seam, right? Presser foots are a tad bigger, so this will end up smaller. But mine and yours should be 8.5, which when you put 2 of the half square triangles together, measure 8.5 as well. And so that should line up perfectly. Sew those together. And then you'll have these for the top and the bottom, which you'll want to press this seam this way and the other one the other way so that they nest in each other. I know other people, this block I kind of changed it up from last week. I did navy instead of red, and also I changed the placement of my colors because last week I had this as my A color, but this week I didn't want to have to worry about having my A color be seamed up in the middle, so I just kind of switched them around. You know, it's your quilt. You can make it how you want to, and you know, switch up the color placement, or you know, even just make it scrappy, make it how you want to make it. I don't know if anyone has any questions for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know that we've reached 10,000 people in the group now, which is pretty cool. Lots of people out there to help each other. I know this week seemed like there was a lot less questions than last week about the block. Once you got those half square triangles down, it made this week's go a lot quicker. And I know next week, you know, next week's block, I don't have a picture of it with me, but it's really easy. So I figured that would help people to catch up if they're a little behind, because next week only has 3 half square triangle combos that you have to make, and the rest are all squares. So that makes it really easy, and that block will go together in a cinch. So, I don't know. You guys have any questions for me? I don't know. If there's anything you guys jumped on here to talk about. I hope you guys are all enjoying the quilt along, the block challenge. I'm having a lot of fun seeing all you guys' pretty blocks, and getting to see number 1 by number 2 is really cool. I can't wait to see the whole thing together. I had asked in the in a poll and in a question earlier yesterday about who prefers fractions in their patterns or if you prefer decimals in your patterns. And so the poll results came out that so far 252 people preferred both. They didn't care. And 157 preferred fractions. So I'm thinking fractions is a winner. I was asking because I'm working on a couple patterns right now that I'm writing up, and I'm making a beginner one. So like if somebody's never sewed before, they could just like look at it and be able to do it from that. So that's pretty interesting. A couple of the patterns that I've purchased were decimals, so I was just like, either or. But I think fractions, you guys like fractions, huh? So, I don't know if there's anything you guys want to talk about. I can't see any comments, so I don't know if you guys are commenting or not.